Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got my man Dante in the back making a cameo. We're about to put him in the video next. We're about to see how these bad boys test on him. Let's get to the next part.
Bringing home the dough. If you know, you know. My life is changing, whoa. Stay in hustle mode.
What's up, YouTube? So this is a very special video. Alright, we're first going to start off by combing the hair backwards because my client, his hair lays down to his head. You got some of the clients, your hair that's going to stick to the head, especially when you have waves / curls. So we're going to go backwards against the grain and we're going to go with the grain just in order to loosen up the hair follicles. So when we start cutting and fading, the hair actually cuts a lot more even than it usually would. We'll say that. Now we got to pick out the beard. My man been working on his beard for a minute, so I think we're about, I want to say almost about 6 months in, maybe 8, but it's looking good. So first we're going to start off with the guideline. We're doing a low drop ball fade. My man is from Philly, so I got to make sure I kill this fade. I actually did though, but yeah, we got to make sure this thing is high and tight. It's real tight, real low. This is one of those sitting out of town type fades. He's taking a trip with his wife to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, so I had to send this thing off with a nice little statement, you know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about, like, you see the crease in the back of his neck. Make sure, and he also helps me out whenever you clean it up right there, try to tilt the neck down a little bit, because you don't want any hair to be left over back there, because that will make your haircut and your fade look bad, especially if you're being a lazy barber. All right, now we're going to take a 1.5 detachable blade. This is the Oster's blades, but Oster's and Andes, they both use the same blade measurements, but we cut the hair down. Now I already know where my guideline is going to be, so I'm debulking the hair on the sides, and I'm not going too high. And you see, when we're doing one side, we got to do on the other, so we got to go ahead and cut it down on the other side as well. And I'm going with the direction of the hair. You see his hair is going in plenty of directions. Now my fade guideline is it's a little off in the back, but I will correct it, ladies and gentlemen. Please believe it. It's just when I'm recording, it is kind of hard because I purposely use the mirror for these kind of things. So when I'm trying to record with my camera, some things may be just a little off, but I do make sure I go back and follow up. I don't know if I got it on video, but I know I did follow up with it because this fade came out blurry. Now on the top, his hair is a little soft, so we're taking a wall 1.5 guard, and this is a 6.3 millimeter. Now the 1.5 detachable that I was using, that was a 4.2 millimeter, so it cut down a little closer to the scalp, which I needed because, like I said, his hair follicles stick to his head. Now we're gonna start off with our Babliss Low Pro. These are the new ones that just came out. They got the FX1 battery system going on. It's a lithium battery. Man, I tell you, you can run them things all day. Like, you got about 6 to 8 heads. You can get at least, and I go by the hour, so I do at least about 6 heads before I have to charge in a new battery. And it comes with a third battery in the pack. Shout out to Babliss for that. I appreciate y'all. So this is pretty much a good Babliss clipper review because this is my second time using the clippers on a client, and man, I fell in love easily. I did. But you see, we just balding out that bottom blend, and we're making sure it. I also want to point out, you see, when you have a client with extra, let's say, skin or extra muscle on his scalp, you do have to stretch that fade a little bit. Sometimes you got to lean to the side, or sometimes you got to take your thumb like I'm doing, and you have to pull that skin up just to make sure you're getting that blend out like how you really want to, because you don't want to be playing with it, and then you also don't want to jab the skin and make the haircut experience very uncomfortable, okay? Now we're going to take our Andes Masters #1 single magnetic guard. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get kind of caught up with these things, y'all, because dual magnetic, single magnetic, it could be a tongue twister, but we're gonna go ahead and screen scrub because this is not a fade tutorial. I'm just showing you as a haircut tutorial how to do a low drop fade. But you see, I'm taking my time, man. I'm notching, I'm fading, I'm doing all the techniques, man, because like I said, this is a difficult haircut to do, and when you have hair that lays to the scalp, it could be pretty tedious, So now I'm taking my #1 wall guard, and we're just fading it on out, blending it on out. Now y'all know my saying, what we do on one side, we must do on the other. So I'm gonna let the music ride out, but I'm just letting you know that we're just blending out the bottom blend first, and then we're gonna hit the middle blend, and then we're gonna make that thing just all come together like a nice sandwich, okay? All right, now we're taking a break from that fade, so we're gonna go ahead and start this beard lining process. Now, a lot of times, you know, new barbers, you might not know how to cut a grown man's hair. But I always tell a new barber, you want to make sure you understand the difference between cutting a baby's hair, a little kid's hair, a teenager's hair, a young adult's hair, which ranges between the ages of 21 to, you gonna say 35. No, I'm gonna say 30, and a grown man's hair, because all three or four of these different age groups or age brackets, they have different hair textures. So you have to know how to cut these type of hair textures, and you want your blades to be set to cut these hair textures. Okay. When we're doing a goatee, you want to make sure you're contouring the goatee, or just the beard, should I say, to the client's face. Okay, because some people's faces are fat, some people's faces are round, some people's faces are very slender, and you don't want to. And also, you have to understand, some people's face are round in certain areas and slim in others. So that's where it really gets tricky. So you really have to make sure you look at it as an artist and see the outcome and go after that outcome, but also make sure you're not putting yourself in the box. Just make sure you just stay calm, do what you have to do, and it'll all come out perfectly, I guarantee you. Now let's go ahead and start this cleansing process. So I do wash my client's face. This comes with the bells and whistles of the Top Tier Hair Club experience. Now after we wash his face with some Kiehl's facial wash, we're going to use that Pennard Clubman Shave Cream. Now the shave cream, it does two things. It softens the skin and it soothes the skin. All right, now we're gonna hit it with the hot towel, and while the hot towel is really, activating that shave cream to the skin, we did hit them with a massage. Now we're gonna go ahead and use this Tap and Go Spritz by Top Tier Hair Club. You already know. We're gonna spray it in the areas where we need to line up, and while that's drying on his skin, you gotta put that do-rag on. Now these blades are about to be snippers. Now you're about to see some action happening, okay? Now let's go ahead and start with the top beard line first. Look at that, man. I'm not even using no pencil. And I ain't gonna lie, this is an older video. I haven't been using a pencil lately, and I'm kind of mad at myself because I've been training my eye to stop using the pencil, and especially with me using the shave cream now, well, I put it back in my arsenal. So these shades have been a lot crispier than I've expected, especially with that Tap and Go Spritz combination. Now right here, I got pretty upset with myself, but I wanted to show you this. I always show my mistakes, just like I show my highlights. I did nick my guy because his hairs was they were a little stiff on the top lip. And this what goes back to me saying, when you're cutting grown men hair versus when you're cutting young adults hair, because the skin on the top lip might be smoother for a young adult or a teenager versus a grown man. Those hairs have been growing for a long time, so they're going to get a lot harder. So I did try to just line it with the spritz, and also I have to make sure my client's top lip is also stretched down all the way, and that was my fault, okay? And I also had to angle my blade a certain way. So with me trying to, I guess I was rushing a little bit, but not really, because me and my client were talking. So sometimes you can get caught up rushing, or sometimes you just don't have the blade angle correct, and sometimes you have to use shave gel. So those three things could have been a factor, but I did use some Septic. That was the green stuff, the alcohol looking stuff that I put on the top of his lip. So what that does, it closes up the cut very, very fast, and it also starts healing the skin a lot quicker. So all you have to do is just let it air dry. Now I wasn't able to actually wipe it off, because usually it'll dry and you can wipe it off by the time the haircut is over with. But my client drinks a lot of water, so when that blood is very runny, you can tell somebody who does drink water and who doesn't. So yeah, we had to let that air dry for a little while. So by the time he got on the plane to leave out the country, it wiped right off. And I just cut his hair today, actually, ironically. So yeah, his lip looked like nothing was never there. So that's the beautiful thing about Septic. Make sure you have that in your tank, okay? Now, I know I was talking a lot, but I did do a lot as well. I did shape up his beard first, and I did take the do-rag off, and now we're getting to the hairline. Now, when you have hairlines that sit a little on the top of the forehead, you got to make sure you contour it to the head, okay? Now, he still has hair, so we have to make sure that we're keeping the hairline as natural as possible. That's why we're using that razor right here. I want to make sure those vertical bars are as sharp as possible, and I'm not going too far deep into the vertical bars at all. And I also have to tilt his head down just to make sure everything is lined up perfectly even, okay? Now we're just doing a little notching, a little touch-up work, because we did lay the hair down, and I can see I did have a little dark spot right there, which is okay. And that's the benefit of, you know, combing the hair follicles backwards and then you comb them forward, okay? Because now the hair is loosened up enough, I can see it a lot better, and we can go ahead and do what we have to do. Yes, sir. I love my polishing techniques. Make sure you polish your haircuts, ladies and gentlemen. You just can't have these people just walking out looking any kind of way, okay? Take your time. Even if, okay, if you do 30-minute appointments, it takes 45 minutes, you need to block an hour off for that client. If you have an hour appointment and you know it takes about an hour and 15, that's cool. At least you can, you know, you can probably catch up on the next one, or you just have to block off 2 hours. Whatever floats your boat. Man, these liners are hitting, man. Like, I really love them, man. I love these trimmers. I love these clippers. They really make these haircuts a lot easier. And I appreciate the fact that Babyliss, they put a better engine, should I say. I don't really know what to call it. Engine or, you know, battery, whatever. But whatever is powering those clippers, the trimmers, they did their thing with that. Now, I can't forget about the side part. A lot of times, especially when I first started cutting my clients' hair, I would always forget the part. So I made sure I didn't forget the part, especially in the video. Usually I start with my blades upside down because that's the sharpest blade on the clippers, or on the trimmers, should I say. And then I follow it with my razor, but I try not to make a very defined line with my trimmers. I let the razor do the rest of the work, okay? And then I'm gonna hit it again. Yeah, that line is sharp. Okay, now let's go ahead and raise out this pencil line. Now it's going to take a couple cleanups. So yeah, I had to screen scrub a little bit. So let's just sit back and enjoy the show. Yeah, man, that white pencil line is, I'm done with it, man. But obviously I use it for lighter tone clients, and my darker tone clients, I use the brown pencil because it makes it stand out a lot better. But you know, that white pencil, man, I don't know, for some reason it just doesn't smear out as easy as the brown. But I mean, you know, the haircut still looks good. It still accents the skin, and it makes the hair look, I still gave a good natural look. My client likes it. It's the mirror check. Hey man, I hope y'all learned something in this video. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment below. And please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you like. And please, you know what? Just go ahead and drop a comment for your boy. Because we need to keep these videos circulating. And we need to make sure these things go viral. But before I go, we have to make sure we trim up these eyebrows real quick. This is what you call overachievement, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? But hey man, make sure you always go above and beyond. I appreciate y'all for watching. My client is satisfied. Von Keith is out. Yo, check it out. Right. Yo, it's your boy Von Keith.
Stay in hustle mode. Got some brand new clothes. Hit them with a pose. Check what I just drove. My car don't touch the road.